So it sounds like we have a caller on the line to give us another one of these situations. This is an okay moment to switch to that.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Thank you both.
So, Sean, are you on the line with us?
I am, hi.
Oh, hi. And you want to tell us where you're from?
I'm living in Oakland, California.
Great. So what's your situation?
I recently was having brunch with a college friend and a high school friend of hers, and they're both straight identified. I'm not. And I was...
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. They're both what identified?
Oh, they're both straight identified.
Okay.
They're both heterosexual, and I'm not. And I was telling them about a date that I'd recently been on with a woman, and that we, in some respects, had chemistry. I was just sort of reviewing the evening I spent with her with them. And at one point, a joke was cracked about her not being attractive. And it took me a few days before I realized that my feelings had been hurt by that. Mm-hmm. And I think it has to do with stereotypes that straight people have about non-heterosexually identified women dating women because they're not attracted to men. I sent this friend an email in which I kind of attempted to respond to their joke with a joke, but she responded to me by saying that my tone in the email was actually, it came across as passive-aggressive, and that if my feelings had been hurt, she would have appreciated me just being more honest about that. And so I've sometimes found with friends who are probably just poking fun that I'm not sure whether the appropriate response to a jokey comment from that person is to respond in kind, in a more humorous tone of voice, which can be cutting sometimes.
So is it that you want to practice being honest with that friend when they make that kind of joke?
And I've also found that when I've been honest with people, sometimes my tone is a little heavier than I intended to be, and maybe the other person experiences it as me blowing what was originally a joke out of proportion.
So you also don't want to make it too heavy, it sounds like.
I don't want to make it too heavy, and then also sometimes if I try to joke back, it's kind of obvious that I'm hurt, and my tone is sort of sarcastic. So I'm trying to find a way to communicate my hurt feelings without it coming across from the other person's point of view as accusatory, whether my tone is serious or humorous.
So I think instead of playing the situation as it is now, because we only have a few minutes left in the show, maybe Phoenix and I will just play this out in the way it might go with Newt giving in some input.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll just play you, Sean.
Okay.
Okay. Am I saying your name right?
Mm-hmm. You are, thank you.
Okay, great. So you want to make a joke to start me off?
Oh, okay. Yeah, so this woman you're dating, is she...
Well, just, all right, you've made the joke.
Yeah, I'm having a trouble.
Whoa, Phoenix, geez, I'm a little... I know that was supposed to be a joke.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Oh.
And I'm a little confused and hurt by it. Because I think you don't get the world I live in. You know, it reminds me that in some ways, we live in really different contexts. I'm curious how you feel hearing that.
I guess I'm a little startled. I meant it as a joke. I definitely didn't want to hurt your feelings. Yeah, I definitely didn't want to do that.
Yeah, and you know, even this, like, I hear that you don't want to hurt my feelings. I don't want to make this into a really big deal, but in some ways I feel like this is something I'd like to talk to you about because it's happened more than once, you know? And I want to be honest, but I don't want to like have it be a huge big deal.
Yeah, because I kind of like being able to tease friends every once in a while. I guess what I want is you to have trust that, you know, I really care about you and that all this stuff is just, you know, it's like not have it be a big deal.
Yeah. I'm sad. I'm really sad hearing that because it's like I really want you to get what it's like to live in my shoes. You know, when you make a comment that's about the attractiveness of somebody else who I'm dating, it's like, wow, you really don't get me. I wonder if you understand what that's like for me.
Wow. Wow. Okay. I'm noticing in myself that I'm feeling really sad, because I definitely want to be a support to you, you know. And I'm hearing that what I said really affected you. So.
I want to jump in right now and just. We have very few minutes left, Sean, but I'd like to check whether or not anything that's happened so far is useful to you.
Actually, it did hit home a little bit, because when I talked it out with this friend of mine, and I sort of considered how I could have better expressed to her that my feelings were hurt, she did bring up the idea of trust. And so I don't know. I thought that that the person who was playing her, that her usage of the word trust did come into play.
Right.
It rang true.
And I'm just going to check with our role players here. Any insight that you got, Sigal, playing Sean?
That it was really tricky for me to balance how much I wanted to just have a friendship and have it be okay, but also that it was kind of a rift, like that she didn't get what world I live in. And I wanted to, if I had time, I would have really wanted to go further into that, to figure out how we can make it light, but also a way of understanding each other in some way.
So in other words, we want you to call at the start of next month's show, so we can spend longer with it.
Do we have? Okay.
It looks like we're coming to the end of our time together. Thank you so much, Sean, for calling, and no joke, call back next month.
Okay.
I'm really sorry we didn't have more time.
That's great. Thank you. I appreciate it.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night.
So I'm happy about the way our show went today. I liked this particular thing of asking what people heard to make sure that the connection was made.
Right. And I really like the idea of matching someone's energy, actually kind of getting how they are, you know.
Yeah. So if you liked what you saw today and you want to learn more, please call us. Our organization is Bay Area Nonviolent Communication, or check our website. There's plenty of opportunities to train with me or Newt or a dozen other trainers.
Also, we want to hear your feedback. We continue to experiment with the format and the content of the show each month. So please send us your comments or scenarios at conflicthotline@baynvc.org.
Before we go, we want to thank the cast and the crew and everyone on the production. All of you are volunteers. Thanks for BTE. Good night.
And thank you to our caller. And we hope you'll join us again the first Thursday of every month at 7:30 p.m. Until then, I'm Newt Bailey.
And I'm Sigal.
And the next breath is for all the people who can relate to me and you. You cannot see eye to eye. Won't you step up with me and try? Drop the fences down, find the common ground, and take a deep breath. Free